Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of information articles, research, our own notes, and really extract the most important nuggets of knowledge to make you well-informed quickly.
Yeah, quickly is the key.
Exactly. Today, we're doing a deep dive into this, well, fascinating world where data, marketing, and the entertainment industry all collide. It's this space where, raw creativity meets the relentless logic of commerce.
Hmm.
And almost every decision, it seems, from greenlighting a blockbuster to, I don't know, timing a social media post, is increasingly backed by these like granular insights into what audiences truly want.
It's a landscape that's just constantly shifting, isn't it? And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how everything from, box office hits to streaming surges,
Yeah.
even the subtle influence of celebrity endorsements, it's all being shaped by these really calculated strategies
Right.
and a precise, almost surgical understanding of audience behavior. We're moving beyond just let's make great content. Now it's about strategically positioning it, amplifying its reach, making sure it resonates deeply with specific demographics, sometimes even before a single frame is shot.
Wow.
So our mission today is really to pull back the curtain and show you exactly what's working and why in media and entertainment. And we're basing this on the very latest insights from, well, this week ending June 22, 2025. We'll explore how these strategies are defining right now and what it might suggest for the future.
You've given us some incredible source material here. And yeah, we're going to explore these current trends, some surprising successes, and the strategic plays that are defining the industry right now. We'll look at the numbers, the narratives, the nuanced marketing approaches that are turning content into cultural phenomena. So what stands out to you, the listener, as we begin to navigate this dynamic space? How much do you think data influences the art we consume? And how much is it still, pure creative genius? Let's find out how the biggest players are using both to captivate audiences, well, everywhere. Okay, let's start with the big screen, because even now, in the age of streaming, the box office still tells such a compelling story about consumer interest, about marketing effectiveness.
It really does. It's like a real-time barometer, isn't it, of public demand and how well those multi-million-dollar campaigns are actually landing.
Exactly. So looking at this week, June 22nd, what's the headline from a numbers perspective? Are we seeing any unexpected breakouts, or is it more business as usual, maybe showing a new level of predictive accuracy?
Well, interestingly, no major surprises at the box office this week, which, as you kind of hinted, that in itself is a significant data point, right?
Oh.
Universal's How to Train Your Dragon held the top spot. It saw a pretty expected week-over-week decline after its strong debut, that kind of predictable dip after a big animated opening. It's quite typical, almost baked into the financial projections these days.
Right, standard stuff.
But the really interesting part is how two new releases, Sony's 28 Years Later and Pixar's Elio, they delivered right in line with their projections, rounded out the top three.
Oh.
And this consistency, hitting expectations so closely, it speaks volumes. Not just about, the precision of modern market forecasting, but also about how hyper-targeted their marketing campaigns must have been. It suggests studios are getting remarkably good at identifying their core audience and speaking directly to them.
So it's not just about getting any butts in seats, but getting the right butts in seats. Okay, let's break down these new releases a bit more then. What made 28 Years Later hit its mark so precisely? What was the strategy there?
Yeah, for 28 Years Later. This film really proves there's still significant bite left in that franchise. Its early narrative, what people are talking about, highlights this tense, grounded return. It leans heavily into psychological horror, rather than big spectacle scares or a huge body count.
Okay, more atmosphere.
Exactly. It's not a bombastic action flick. It's a deliberate return to the roots of what made the original so impactful, that slow burn dread, the moral dilemmas, the character-driven tension.
Right, I remember that feeling from the first one.
Mm-hmm. And this approach suggests really successful targeting. They went for fans who appreciate a very specific genre experience, that more cerebral, dread-inducing horror, not just jump scares. The data, I imagine, would have shown a strong group of original fans, plus horror aficionados who prioritize that specific tone over sheer scale.
So the marketing focused on that.
Clearly, it honed in on that niche, drew in the core fan base, and maybe even expanded a bit to people looking for something smarter in the genre, effectively minimizing those box office surprises.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about Pixar's Elio? Pixar usually goes for those universally emotional, grab the tissues narratives. How did this one land? And what's its performance telling us about maybe Pixar's evolving strategy?
Right. Then we have Elio. Visually, it's imaginative, stunning animation, creative world building, everything you'd expect from Pixar.
Of course.
However, early reactions suggest it skews more introspective than, let's say, overtly emotionally resonant, which is a subtle but, I think, critical distinction for Pixar.
Interesting.
Often their films are celebrated for that profound emotional depth, that universal appeal, right? Designed to make adults cry and kids laugh all at once. Elio's lean towards slower, character-driven storytelling suggests a different kind of audience appeal, likely more for the dedicated Pixar fans, maybe those open to a less overtly emotional, more reflective viewing experience.
So not necessarily a bad thing, but different.
Exactly. Not negative, but it means managing audience expectations, ensuring the right viewers are drawn in. From a data perspective, this might suggest Pixar is strategically experimenting a bit, broadening its narrative scope, or perhaps targeting an older segment of its fan base who appreciates more nuanced storytelling, even if it means a slightly smaller, maybe more dedicated initial audience, rather than that massive, immediate, family-wide hit.
That's fascinating. It really speaks to how studios manage expectations, how different approaches find their niche. It's not just filling seats, it's filling them with the right people who will connect with that specific tone. But okay, looking ahead now, where are we seeing the real marketing muscle flexing for upcoming releases? It feels like the industry's moved way beyond just dropping a trailer and hoping.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is all about sustained momentum now. And multifaceted marketing. The days of just one single massive marketing blitz, they're largely behind us. Now, it's about building this consistent drumbeat that amplifies over time, reaching consumers across every possible touch point, creating this pervasive cultural presence that makes the film feel like an event you just can't miss.
Okay, so give us an example.
Well, take Apple's F1 film. This is just a masterclass in strategic positioning right now. It's building significant momentum. The midpoint of its domestic projections keeps climbing, narrowing that gap to the high end.
And that's not luck.
Definitely not accidental. Its success is a result of this meticulously crafted, data-informed campaign. A precise blend of paid media, yes, but combined with strategic PR pushes, high-profile appearances from the cast, even real F1 personalities getting involved.
Ah, smart.
And these efforts, they're not just boosting awareness. Critically, they're converting that awareness into genuine, active interest in seeing the film in theaters. With those slick visuals, the immersive racing backdrop, F1 is tracking as more than just a sports film. It's really shaking up to be a high-octane crowd pleaser with definite crossover appeal.
And the timing helps, I bet.
Hugely. Part of its genius is its smart positioning around the actual real-world Formula One calendar. It ties into existing fan enthusiasm, makes the film feel like an extension of a live sporting event. The marketing feels less like a traditional movie campaign and more like building anticipation for the next big race. And it's undeniably working.
Right.
Now, consumer product potential might be limited compared to, say, a superhero film with endless toys.
Sure, no capes for F1 cars.
Exactly. But its halo effect, the positive buzz spilling over, is showing up in real-world F1 gear sales, game tie-ins. It offers a different but equally valuable kind of brand value for Apple.
So it's almost like they're selling an experience decently integrated with a real-world thing people already love.
Right.
Okay, and speaking of massive cultural phenomena, what about the colossal tentpole strategies? Films like Warner Bros. Superman and Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four, these feel like they're operating on a whole other level of anticipation.
Oh, absolutely. They are. Both Superman and Marvel's Fantastic Four are pacing toward $100 million plus openings in July. They remain the clear frontrunners, both in that marketing-driven momentum and that consumer product halo we talked about.
Built-in advantage there.
For sure. These films aren't starting from scratch. They're building off strong baselines, established fan bases, beloved IP. But their success gets amplified exponentially by these layered, multi-channel marketing strategies. They combine high-impact trailers with extensive retail rollouts, everything from action figures to T-shirts, plus constant high-impact PR events like Comic-Con, big interviews.
The whole machine.
The whole machine. And Fantastic Four in particular benefits immensely from Marvel's vast, interconnected ecosystem, where every little piece of news, a casting reveal, a carefully orchestrated toy leak, a behind-the-scenes glimpse, the constant social buzz from dedicated fan communities, it all converges to build this steady, escalating drumbeat way ahead of launch. Yeah. It truly highlights the immense power of an established universe. Every bit of news becomes part of this larger, self-sustaining promotional engine. And you can bet they're tracking all of it meticulously through sentiment analysis, engagement metrics across all the social platforms.
It sounds like they're not just marketing to an audience, but building with a fandom.
Okay, and what about other major players in the mix? How are they navigating this incredibly competitive summer?
Yeah, there are definitely other major players. Jurassic World. Rebirth is holding within its long-range projection band. It's performing slightly behind its superhero peers, maybe,
Yeah.
but still firmly in blockbuster territory. It's a known quantity, right? A reliable performer.
Yep. Dinosaur Cell.
They do.
Yep.
And its marketing will lean into that established appeal, probably target family demographics heavily, leverage that nostalgia for the original films. Then you've got Blumhouse's M3GN sequel coming back next week. It's continuing to follow expected trends.
That first one was a surprise viral hit. Exactly, driven largely by those viral social media moments, word of mouth. So the marketing for the sequel will likely capitalize on that cult status, lean into the character's unique, kind of unsettling viral appeal. Expect targeted digital campaigns, leveraging TikTok heavily, playing up those playful horror elements that resonated so strongly with a younger, very online audience. They're definitely using data to pinpoint exactly which demographics respond best to that specific brand of creepy doll horror.
So what does this all mean for the overall approach to theatrical marketing then? It sounds like it's really less about one big splash and more about this persistent multi-channel assault, like a carefully choreographed dance across platforms and consumer touchpoints.
That's a great way to put it.
The goal isn't just making noise, but making meaningful, sustained noise that translates into ticket sales. And as you mentioned, that broader halo effect of brand value, extending the IP's life way beyond the theatrical run.
Precisely, yeah. At this point in the cycle, marketing-driven lift is less about a single, isolated moment like, a Super Bowl trailer drop, and much more about sustained presence across a multitude of touchpoints. The films that are winning or strategically positioning themselves to win are the ones extending their reach far beyond just the movie screens. They are infiltrating retail shelves with merchandise. They're populating social media feeds with viral content, fan discussions. They're cultivating fervent fandoms that act as organic amplifiers.
Right.
And this is a critical insight for anyone looking to understand how modern blockbusters are built and maintained. It's about creating this pervasive cultural presence that makes the film feel like an event you can't miss, not just another option in a crowded market. And behind the scenes, they're using sophisticated data analytics to map those consumer journeys, ensuring every ad, every social post, every piece of merchandise is placed strategically to reinforce the narrative and build that anticipation. It's really an ecosystem of engagement.
Okay, moving from the cinema, then to our living rooms. The streaming wars are just as intense as ever, maybe more so. It's this constant battle for eyeballs, for subscription dollars. And the data coming out of these platforms is giving us this unprecedented look into what truly drives engagement.
It really is.
So what kind of data are we seeing from that platforms, particularly this week ending June 22nd? And maybe looking back just a bit to give us some context on the trends.
Yeah, absolutely. And this raises that really important question about how platforms are carving out their niches, right? And how they're retaining subscribers in this incredibly crowded market. It's not enough anymore to just have content. You need the right content that resonates deeply, keeps viewers coming back, and you need to understand those subtle metrics of engagement, not just the initial views.
Right, the binge versus the slow burn.
Exactly. So let's start with Netflix. They continue to demonstrate just unrivaled reach and this really keen understanding of global audience appetites. Tyler Perry's Straw, it's continuing its record-breaking streak. Amassed another 50 million views this week.
Wow, 50 million again.
Yeah. It's monumental. Makes it not only the biggest week for any movie in 2025 so far, but also Perry's strongest streaming debut ever. And this demonstrates his growing global influence, extending way beyond his traditional theatrical windows into a truly international streaming phenomenon.
That's amazing. What does that tell you from a data perspective?
Well, it shows the enduring power of a creator with a super loyal following. Even if his theatrical appeal was maybe more domestically focused in the past, Netflix's global platform just unlocked a whole new level of reach for him. Their algorithms clearly identified that potential.
Okay. What else is big on Netflix?
Also making significant waves is Titan. The OceanGate submersible disaster premiered at number 2.
Ah, the timeliness factor.
Exactly. Highlights that powerful appeal of event-based content, especially docudramas that tap into recent high-profile real-world events. Netflix's algorithms are clearly adept at identifying those trending topics and commissioning rapid response content that capitalizes on current public interest.
Quick turnaround.
Very. And then there's this French revenge thriller, KO. It stars an MMA champion turned actor, Cyril Gain. It broke into the top 3. Raw action, international appeal. This showcases Netflix's exceptional ability to find and cultivate global hits, transcending language and cultural barriers through just compelling genre storytelling. It proves their investment in local content creation really pays off internationally. They're constantly analyzing regional viewing patterns to spot these cross-cultural breakouts.
So local content going global. What about series?
On the series front for Netflix, Ginny and Georgia shows absolutely no signs of slowing down. Third season retained the #1 global position, and critically, its first 2 seasons actually re-entered the top 10.
That's unusual, right?
It is uncommon, yeah. And it speaks volumes about the show's growing bingeability, its expanding fandom. It indicates new viewers are discovering it, then going right back to watch from the beginning. That creates this powerful, self-sustaining loop of engagement that reduces churn, attracts new subscribers.
Keeps people hooked.
Exactly. Also, The Survivors climbed to #2 in its second week, bolstered by strong international word of mouth and consistent traction on TikTok. Just proves again that organic amplification power of social media for certain kinds of shows.
TikTok driving views.
Okay.
And looking back a bit, you mentioned May.
Yeah, just for context, back in the week ending May 18th, we saw Netflix's You holding up remarkably well in week 4 after its final season launch, suggests strong retention of its dedicated audience.
Loyal fans sticking around.
And on the movies chart then, Nanas led for a second consecutive week, a staggering 848 million minutes viewed, a clear indicator of its staying power for a broad audience. And A Deadly American Mirage also made a strong showing. So these numbers really highlight the diversity of content finding huge audiences on Netflix: thrillers, comedies, true crime. They cover the map.
It's incredible how they managed to capture such a wide variety of viewing habits.
Oh.
Okay, now, over Disney, they've always had a unique approach, right? Given their vast library of IP, how is their multi-platform strategy playing out in these streaming wars?
Right, Disney. Very distinct strategy, leveraging that deep IP catalog across multiple platforms. On Disney Plus One, theatrical titles are consistently leading the charge, demonstrates the value of their interconnected ecosystem.
So movies driving streaming.
Big time. Snow White maintained its position as the top title in over 60 countries, closely followed by Captain America, Brave New World. This shows how those highly anticipated cinematic releases quickly translate into streaming successes once they hit the platform. Draws in audiences who might have missed them in theaters or just want to rewatch.
Makes sense.
Furthermore, Predator, Killer of Killers, also continues to perform strongly. It's appearing in the top 10 across 60-plus countries, and it's secured the #2 spot on Hulu, partly due to renewed franchise interest, but also a significant surge in online discussion around the property.
So synergy between Disney Plus and Hulu.
Exactly. This cross-platform success within the Disney ecosystem highlights their ability to leverage existing IP across different service tiers, appealing to diverse demographics, families on Disney Plus, maybe more adult horror fans on Hulu.
Got it. And you mentioned a big week back in May for them.
Yeah, the week ending May 18th presented this truly rare scenario for Disney. 5 of the top 10 most-watched series across all platforms were available on Disney platforms, including the top 2 titles, Andor and Bluey.
Wow. Andor and Bluey. Talk about different audiences.
Right. Together, they delivered nearly 2 billion viewing minutes. It's an incredible display of breadth and depth in their content offering, appealing to vastly different demographics simultaneously, those niche, adult-oriented Star Wars fans for Andor, and then preschoolers and their parents for Bluey.
That's impressive range.
And Andor's final 3 episodes dropped on May 13th. They were instrumental in pushing the series up week over week. It hit a new series high for the 4th straight week 1 for each episode released during season 2.
The staggered release strategy paying off.
Powerfully illustrates the strategic effectiveness of staggered release for driving sustained engagement, building cumulative viewership rather than just dropping it all at once. Creates anticipation, gives a reason to return week after week, crucial for subscription retention.
Keeps the buzz going.
And the related film, Rogue One, also popped onto the movie streaming chart then. Tied for 9th place with 179 million minutes. It shows again how that franchise interconnectedness directly drives viewership across different formats.
It all links together.
It does. And lastly, Hulu, another key Disney platform, saw its unscripted series. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives have the biggest series debut of that week ending May 18th. landed at number 8 overall with 680 million minutes, proving that unscripted content can also be a major driver of new viewership and probably a cost-effective way to attract specific audiences.
Okay, so it's clear established IP and franchise extensions are huge drivers, both for theaters and streaming. They come with built-in audiences, that legacy of engagement. But what about the other major players in streaming? How are they innovating? Are they finding new ways to capture attention, or are they kind of following similar playbooks to Netflix and Disney?
We're definitely seeing diverse strategies playing out. Each platform is really trying to differentiate itself, leverage its unique strengths in this very, very competitive market.
Okay, like who?
Well, Apple TV Plus is making some bold moves. Echo Valley, starring Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney, reached the global top spot this week. Showcases their commitment to that premium, star-driven content.
Right, prestige TV feel.
Exactly. But what's truly fascinating here is Apple TV Plus' gamble on live sports back in May. It paid off significantly. Major League Soccer and Friday Night Baseball claimed the top 2 spots in visibility rankings. Their combined media placement value, this was measured by Looper Insights, was over $11.5 million.
Okay, remind us media placement value, MPV. What does that mean again?
Right, good question. MPV, media placement value, it essentially estimates what it would cost to buy the same amount of exposure if it were traditional advertising. So it's a way to quantify how much free media attention from news articles, social buzz, organic mentions a project is generating.
Got it. So $11.5 million in free buzz for sports.
Pretty much. So this isn't just a strong showing, it's a clear statement. Apple is carving out a new lane as a, maybe, sports-first streamer. They're leveraging marquee matchups, premium placements to build that sustained appointment-style viewing behavior.
Different from the binge model.
Very different. It's a deliberate shift. Aiming to create habitual viewership brings people back at specific times, like old-school TV, fosters a potentially deeper engagement model.
Interesting. Okay, who else?
Paramount Plus is seeing consistent performers. Mobland held the number 2 global series position this week, remains a top 10 hit in over 20 markets. This gritty crime drama has resonated especially well in Latin America, parts of Europe, highlights the critical importance of regional appeal, understanding specific market tastes.
So tailoring content globally.
Exactly. A show that's a moderate hit somewhere can be huge elsewhere. Paramount Plus is clearly capitalizing on that, acquiring or producing content tailored to local preferences, using global viewership data to pinpoint those opportunities.
Mark. And Prime Video, they're huge.
Cement scale, yeah. Prime Video continues to have strong weeks. Deep Cover held as the number 2 film globally. Better Sisters continues to dominate as their top series. And, crucially, Prime Video led all apps in that week ending May 18th with a staggering $103.7 million in total MPV.
Wow, over $100 million.
Yeah. It truly underscores Amazon's unmatched scale, that deep integration across Fire TV devices, their vast retail ecosystem. When you can promote content directly on devices people own, tie into a retail empire, your reach is just amplified immeasurably. It's a marketing flywheel.
Makes sense.
Furthermore, The Boys made a thunderous return to the top 10 then, at number 4 in promotional value, outpacing stablemates like Reacher, The Wheel of Time. Clear proof that even in a saturated field, well-executed superhero satire still cuts through, benefits from significant buzz. Especially when it's a tentpole franchise that can activate existing fan communities.
Right. The Boys definitely has buzz. What about HBO Max?
HBO Max is demonstrating more of a slow burn success strategy, particularly with The Last of Us. It surged back with a 28% month-over-month increase in promotional value, climbing to number 3 with $4.48 million in May.
Months after it aired.
Well beyond its premiere window, yeah. It's a textbook example of slow burn marketing. Not about the initial burst, it's about consistent fan re-engagement, elevated social chatter, keeping the conversation going. A franchise that just refuses to fade from the cultural consciousness. They're tracking social media trends, fan-created content, using that data to strategically reignite interest. Shows the long-tail value of strong IP and really dedicated community management.
Who keeping it alive? And Peacock.
And finally, Peacock is making waves with creative campaigns. Poker Face rounded out the top 10 in promotional value in May. That was after some bold moves like free sneak peeks, first season unlocks on Fire TV.
Trying to hook people.
Exactly. These executions highlight the immense value of creative campaign structuring when just visibility isn't enough to cut through the noise, especially for returning series that might need a fresh hook to re-engage audiences. It's about enticing viewers with low-friction entry points, often targeting lapsed viewers or new potential subscribers, using data on their viewing habits to craft those personalized incentives.
This leads to a bigger insight, doesn't it, about the streaming world. It's not just about the content anymore. It's also about access,
Yeah.
business models,
Yeah.
how easily that content reaches the consumer, whether it's paid subscription or maybe free, ad-supported.
That's exactly right.
It feels like the landscape is diversifying in how audiences can access stories,
Yeah.
almost like a return to older broadcast models, but with way more choice.
Exactly. The rise of these ad-supported players, fast channels, free ad-supported streaming television like Tubi, which had an impressive $62.4 million in total MPV in May, and the Roku channel at $56.1 million. It signals a broader, undeniable shift in the industry. While Amazon's Prime Video clearly leads in total MPV, showing its scale, the growing traction of these free, easily accessible content platforms is becoming a powerful strategy in this intense battle for viewer attention.
So free is becoming a major player.
It democratizes access to content, lowers the barrier to entry. It's quickly becoming a critical component of a diversified streaming portfolio for many viewers, especially those looking to manage subscription costs, right?
Yeah, wallet fatigue is real.
It is, and this is a data-driven response to audience price sensitivity, content fatigue, offering a viable alternative that attracts vast numbers of viewers who might not commit to another paid service. It represents a significant evolution in how content is monetized and distributed, shifting from purely subscription-driven to a more hybrid model.
Okay, so beyond the screens themselves, the entertainment industry is this massive ecosystem, isn't it? Driven by talent, by music, by clever brand tie-ins. It's this complex web where a hit song can launch a career, a celebrity endorsement sells millions, a well-placed product integration creates a lasting impression.
It all interconnects.
So what are the latest movements in the music landscape this week? Are we seeing new artists breaking through, or is it still just dominated by the usual huge names?
Well, on the music front, we saw Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child debut as the most streamed song on Spotify this week. That's a significant moment for her, a clear breakout performance in that highly competitive streaming space. Testament to effective digital marketing, her growing fan base.
Good for her.
Yeah. Raven Lenae's Love Me Not also gained strong momentum, climbing into the number 10 spot, indicates a rising profile for her. Alex Warren's Ordinary continued its strong performance, sitting at number 2 now, showing sustained appeal. And we saw positive traction for Back to Friends by Somber, rounding out the top 3. So it shows the industry is still, somewhat of a meritocracy for new tracks. Discovery algorithms, social media can really accelerate smaller artists.
So new stuff can still break through.
It can, however,
No,
looking at the top global artists, the top 10 remained largely unchanged. Bad Bunny holding number 1, followed by Taylor Swift, Drake, The Weeknd, Morgan Wallen.
Usual suspects.
The usual suspects. Shows the continued, almost unshakable dominance of these established global stars. They command massive, loyal fan bases built over years, generate staggering streaming numbers, touring revenue. So it's this blend, right? Enduring legends maintaining their grip, while new tracks and emerging artists can certainly gain traction, climb the charts if their music resonates and gets promoted effectively through digital channels, often through those viral moments on platforms like TikTok. Data on fan engagement, streaming patterns, social buzz is crucial for identifying those breakout moments.
It's a fascinating duality, that immense power of established artists right alongside the rapid rise of new tracks.
Okay, and how is individual star power translating into industry buzz right now? It feels like actors are becoming their own marketing engines, their personal brands amplifying the projects they're in, extending reach way beyond traditional promo tours. It's not just about acting anymore, it's about being a narrative, a brand. Absolutely. The data clearly shows talent driving significant headlines and momentum, leveraging their personal platforms, their public personas to amplify project visibility in ways that just weren't possible, say, a decade ago.
Like who?
Well, take Ana de Armas from CAA. She continues to captivate headlines with Ballerina, holding strong at the box office, both US and China, and with rumors already swirling about her next franchise move. Her momentum shows no signs of slowing. Her star power alone is a magnet for continued attention. Every public appearance, every social media post generates immediate media coverage, which translates directly into free marketing for her current and future projects.
Right. She's always in the news.
Then there's Sydney Sweeney from Paradigm, drawing considerable attention for her performance in Apple TV Plus's Echo Valley. That psychological thriller premiered June 13th. Co-starring Julianne Moore, produced by Ridley Scott. It sparked early awards chatter, which immediately elevates its prestige and visibility.
Awards buzz else.
Big time. But it's not just her performance-driving buzz. Sweeney's meticulously documented press tour, especially that 5-outfit in New York City day, remember that?
Yeah.
Widely shared across fashion media, TikTok. It demonstrates how personal branding, strategic style choices, social media savviness can profoundly amplify a project's visibility.
The fashion angle.
Exactly. Her team understands every public moment is an opportunity to generate organic buzz, turning a promo tour into a cultural event itself, reaching audiences far beyond just entertainment news.
DeMar Play. Who else?
Millie Alcock, from Curtis Brown, remains firmly in the spotlight as Sirens continues to trend in Netflix's global top 10. Cementing her streaming presence. And crucially, she also recently wrapped filming on Supergirl.
Oh, right.
Gives her growing visibility in both sci-fi and superhero circles, which are incredibly potent fandoms, right? Known for passionate, highly engaged communities. This dual presence lets her appeal to a broad audience. Expect her fan-driven momentum to carry strongly through the summer as anticipation builds. Her team is clearly leveraging her rising profile in specific genre communities, using data to see where her fan base is most active and how to best engage them.
Building that dedicated following.
Then Brian Howie from UTA made significant headlines with that surprise bonus episode drop of Ginny and Georgia on Netflix. The unexpected release itself was a clever marketing tactic, created immediate buzz, urgency among fans.
Yeah, people love a surprise drop.
They do, and a hilarious, now viral scene featuring guest star Simu Liu quickly caught fire across Twitter and TikTok. Reignited immense fan love for the series. It exemplifies how unexpected content drops, leveraging social media virality, can create fresh, organic buzz for existing IP. Draws in new viewers, delights existing fans. Perfect example of using data on social trends to inform release strategies for maximum impact.
That viral moment power.
Definitely. And finally, Matthew Good and Chloe Peary. They lead the cast of Dept, cue that dark, atmospheric crime thriller on Netflix that's quickly building buzz. Based on best-selling Danish novels, the series is gaining significant traction among fans of Nordic noir, bolstered by strong performances, moody production design that's resonating internationally.
The Scandinoir appeal.
Exactly. This points not only to the success of this particular series, but also to the rising buzz around the Nordic noir genre overall. Their performances are highlighting and elevating an entire subgenre for a global audience, proving that niche genres, when executed well and identified through viewing data, can find a surprisingly large international audience on a platform like Netflix.
Wow. It sounds like the entertainment world is just masterfully blending content, celebrity, consumer engagement, creating this synergistic effect where each element amplifies the others. Okay, but what about the physical stuff? The products, the merchandise, the experiential marketing. Where are we seeing the smartest collaborations? The ones that truly extend the narrative beyond the screen into our daily lives, forging that deeper connection with the IP.
This is really where those marketing strategies extend beyond the screen, into tangible experiences, consumer goods, creates that powerful halo effect we talked about, keeps the IP alive, relevant in the consumer's mind, long after the credits roll. It's about building a universe, not just a single piece of content.
So creating a whole world.
Precisely. And we're seeing a strong trend of leveraging nostalgia, adapting IP for new generations, often with surprising results. Take Chuck E. Cheese, for instance.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. In this nostalgic meets new school move, Happy Nest and Chuck E. Cheese are teaming up for their first ever animated holiday special. Aims to blend that retro brand familiarity with modern family-friendly storytelling. Strategically positions Chuck E. Cheese for a fresh content play during the holidays.
Interesting timing.
With seasonal specials consistently driving engagement across streaming, fast platforms, this could be a surprise winner in Q4. Demonstrates the enduring power of reinventing classic IP for a contemporary audience. It's a smart move, taps into parental nostalgia while introducing the brand to a new generation.
Okay, I can see that. What else?
Similarly, DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon reboot continues to dominate buzz, thanks not only to the movie marketing, character reveals, but also through smart merchandise drops, a social campaign that leans heavily into nostalgia for original fans, while introducing a new cast designed for today's kids and families. It's honoring the past while building for the future, leveraging decades of goodwill, fan data to inform current creative and marketing decisions.
Right, balancing old and new fans.
Exactly. Then there's the strategic expansion of established franchises. Disney acquired Miraculous Stellar Force. It's an anime-inspired spin-off of the global hit Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Oh yeah, that show's huge.
It is. A special is planned for 2025, full series launch in 2027. Marks a continued significant investment in stylized global IP with strong cross-demo appeal, bridging kids, tweens, even anime-leaning Gen Z fans. Expect this to play heavily in Disney Plus' international growth strategy, especially Latin America, Asia, where anime and stylized animation have huge cultural resonance. Clear data-driven decision, expand proven IP in high-growth markets.
Makes sense.
And on a different note, Tom Cruise finally received his overdue flowers from the Academy. Specifics weren't disclosed, but the timing amid this more inclusive, populist wave of awards recognition signals, Hollywood is increasingly embracing mainstream legends alongside indie darlings. Suggests a strategic shift, maybe? Acknowledging the box office power, cultural impact of widely popular stars, not just critically acclaimed performers, which is kind of a data point in itself for how Hollywood perceives its own value.
Interesting point. Okay, so it's not just about what's new, but also how strategically they're leveraging what's enduring. And finally, let's talk about some truly high-impact brand collaborations, the ones translating screen appeal into tangible consumer excitement. It's fascinating how brands weave IP into physical products experiences.
Exactly. This is where the magic happens, turning passive viewers into active consumers. Nike is bringing back its cult favorite Invisible Woman Air Force Ones ahead of Fantastic Four for Steps. This time with sleek white leather, clear paneling specifically designed to match Sue Storm's powers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this retro-inspired drop is perfectly timed to build significant fashion buzz right before the film's release. Creates a tangible connection between the film and a highly coveted lifestyle product. It's not just merch, it's a fashion statement that plays into fan identity.
Sneakerheads will be all over that.
For sure. Jeep has gone full dino mode with Jurassic World Rebirth, rolling out a massive campaign, custom Wrangler content, prominent dealership displays, even Jurassic Trail-rated badges.
Oh, that's fun.
With ILM-crafted dinosaurs in the ads, Times Square takeovers. It's undeniably one of the biggest auto tie-ins of the year. Shows incredible scale in experiential marketing. It's not just a commercial, it's an immersive experience bringing the film's world to life for potential customers, leveraging that sense of adventure, ruggedness.
Making you feel like you're in the movie.
Pretty much. In fashion and collectibles, Uniqlo teamed up with Pop Mart, spotlighting Labubu and the Viral Monsters universe in a colorful UT collection. Women's, kids' tees available for pre-order across Asia, set to resonate big with Gen Z collectors, Asian pop culture fans. Highlights the power of niche but incredibly influential collaborations. These partnerships get identified through precise consumer data, finding those overlapping interests between specific brands and fan demographics.
Targeted collabs.
Very. And for the younger demographic, Mushy expanded its baby gear line with a soft-toned bluey collection. Bibs, cups, snack containers, designed to appeal specifically to design-forward parents and, of course, bluey-obsessed littles. Already trending across Amazon parenting blogs. Shows successful targeting of specific demographics with thoughtful, relevant products, merging beloved characters with practical, nice-looking items.
Art for parents.
Definitely. And for classic cross-promotions, General Mills is bringing Marvel's first family to breakfast. Limited edition cereal boxes for Fantastic Four, First Steps. Timeless tactic, right? Leveraging everyday items to build excitement for a big movie taps into habitual consumer behavior.
Can't beat cereal box marketing.
Seems not. And finally, this is a really fascinating integration of entertainment and gaming. Bruno Mars is headlining Fortnite Festival Season 9.
Bruno Mars in Fortnite.
Yeah. In-game skins, his Silk Sonic tracks, a premium music pass. His addition marks Fortnite's first Filipino-American icon. Part of this broader push to blend pop culture, identity, gameplay, showcases how massive gaming platforms like Fortnite are becoming major cultural hubs for entertainment tie-ins. Offers an entirely new, interactive dimension to brand engagement where fans can actively participate in the IP, not just consume it.
Wow, that's a whole other level.
It really is. A powerful testament to the merging of entertainment and interactive media. Hashtag tag outro.
Wow. Okay, that was a truly comprehensive look behind the curtain of the entertainment industry. From box office hits to streaming surges, these incredible brand partnerships. It's just so clear that data and strategic marketing are no longer just like supporting acts. They feel like the main event now.
They really are.
Meticulously crafted engines driving everything we see, hear, engage with, guiding creative decisions, amplifying reach.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, I think the key takeaway is that winning in today's entertainment landscape, it means understanding the audience deeply, extending reach across every conceivable touch point, and constantly innovating with content, with talent, with collaborations.
Right.
It's about creating sustained presence, sustained value beyond just the initial viewing or consumption. It's building an entire ecosystem around the content that keeps audiences engaged and vested over the long term, leveraging every piece of data to inform that next strategic move.
And that's our deep dive for today. We hope you feel more informed, maybe even a little inspired by the sheer creativity and strategic thinking driving the entertainment world. It's this fascinating blend of art and science where the numbers really do often tell the story of what truly captivates us.
Which raises, I think, an important question for you, the listener. As these lines between entertainment, marketing, technology, as they continue to blur, how might these trends shape the next big breakthrough? In content creation or consumption, will we see entirely new forms of interactive storytelling emerge, maybe even more personalized content experiences driven by even more granular data? What innovations might we see emerge from this constant interplay of data and creativity? Could it even change how we define entertainment itself?
Something to chew on. Until next time, keep digging into what fascinates you.